All right, so here we go. Good morning, everyone. So far, before we get started for today, we still have a couple more minutes. Yesterday was an amazing day with PIRS, right? So PIRS did a wonderful jump throughout the day. Anyone that held long from the morning to the end of the day got a massive 100% gain, because we actually started yesterday where we were around the 250 entry point. That's kind of where I first grabbed it, and then I took the ride up and I sold it, and throughout the day it had its moments, but as you can see, by the end of the day it just jumped, practically approaching $5, right? So PIRS was a very sneaky one. It had a nice morning jump and then it just skyrocketed, right? So slow to take off, but huge pump yesterday, practically 100% gain, especially for anyone who stuck through with the trade for the whole day. And even today, as you can see, it's kind of sort of still looking like it might keep going to break $5. So you know, we keep our eye on that for now too. The other amazing player yesterday was AMC. AMC getting that pump, of course, along with GameStop, also did a beautiful thing yesterday. So when we were in yesterday, I think I got in and out multiple times, but at one time I got in at 1504 and I sold at 1543, mainly because I had to get busy and I had to get going, so I wouldn't be able to keep my eyes on it. But of course, right after that, boom, you can see how by end of day yesterday, right, it's practically skyrocketed, and now this morning it's starting at $18. So for those of you who don't have a day trading profile, right, which requires having $25,000 in your day trading account, in your whatever account you're using, so like Robinhood will tell you if you day trade that there's a limit. You can only do 3-day trades every 5 days, I believe, so every week basically, and you need to have a balance of $25,000 or more in your account to be able to do infinite day trading. So for those of you who don't have that, if you ever see a stock that you're feeling brave about and you want to hold until the next day to sell it, then it's not a day trade if you buy it today and sell it tomorrow, right? That's 2 different days now. So PIRS is one of those stocks that you could have definitely done that with, right? PIRS, same thing with AMC, could have definitely held, would have been massive gains from both of them if you held. Now, of course, it always hurts to look back and see that you could have made a lot more. See, I got in and out of PIRS multiple times yesterday too. Got in at 314, sold at 347. For me, since I buy such high amounts of shares, it's a lot of gains. So gains are always gains, and you always want to remember that. If you took anything positive out of it and you made money, then you're good. You know, there's nothing to worry about. You keep going and you move forward, because that's it. You're done. The only bad part is losing money. You know, so losing money is where you should try doing a better thing, and you know, learn and develop better planning, better execution, how to buy, when to sell, stuff like that, which we'll be seeing as you guys continue to watch the live day trading day by day. So today I am looking at possibly making more plays in PIRS and AMC, but it's always more fun to buy stocks that are cheaper, right? Cheaper stocks you can buy many more copies of, and when you buy more copies of it, as they skyrocket, so does your income. So for today's calls, there's 3 of them, and they're all penny stocks essentially. There's NBRV, another, as usual with what I look at pharma stocks, right? That's because I myself am a medical graduate here in New York. So as an MD, it's always something that I can better understand. So like, for example, when I see Nabriva Therapeutics here and I look at what they're doing, I can easily look up more about their research and then have a pretty good understanding of how applicable their medical practices may be for the world today, right? Or how amazing something they made could be for today's world of infectious disease and pandemics and chronic diseases that don't have treatment, and of course the ever so notorious cancer. So that's NBRV. BOS is Better Online Solutions. This is another stock on intelligent robotics, right? So these are things that can always end up having some success, and you never know. And then the last one is Luocon Technology, which has been very interesting. So over the year, I've seen this stock multiple times where it was essentially truly a penny stock, right? 40 cents, 50 cents, and it had a day where it skyrocketed earlier this year to $3. So imagine getting in on this at like 50 cents, 60 cents, and riding it up to $3. That's a huge, as you can see right here, 450% gain ever since the beginning of the year. But that's a massive jump. That's a massive jump. So as you can see throughout, then it has had multiple instances where it came down and has had multiple jumps. And today, maybe another day where it makes such a jump. So we're gonna try to get in on these penny stocks. I'm gonna try to split so I usually go all in with the whole 50K. But of course, as you continue watching me, assuming I keep having more successful day trades, this total will keep increasing. So I'm going to split it up today by putting 30 in here and 30 in here, but I'm going to try to see what they're up to first using FinViz. I want to see what's been happening with them before making any specific calls. As far as looking at other stocks we've been successful with earlier this week and last week, there's been AHT. So I'm going to take AMC off this list now, because since it's already been maximally pumped, essentially, it's not really going to be going much more up. So that's AHT right there. That might be doing something fancy today. And then the last one I'm going to look at is, keep an eye on one of our earlier leads, OBLN. What is going down? I think that looks like Litecoin must be sinking. Yeah. Not a good day for crypto. Not good times for crypto in general. So it went up quite a bit overnight, and then now in a matter of 2 to 3 minutes undid that entire thing, probably because Bitcoin itself is sinking. But anyway, we don't really care for that right now. We're gonna try to, if it's a nice day, we're probably gonna be able to undo that entire dip from Litecoin with the big jump from one of our day trades right now. So here's hoping for the best. So as you can tell, I don't like to jump in right away, right? Because sometimes what happens is some of these stocks are gonna take this, for example, go down early in the morning and then go up. Some of them are already going up to begin with, and then you buy in and they go down, so that always hurts. I'm gonna wait for a nice moment where they kind of stabilize and then get in. So I'm really hoping that people are going to see Naviva Therapeutics and jump in on it. Overnight, it went up from $150 to $2, so that's a good 25 to 30% gain right there. And then right now, it's kind of coming back down from the 222 that it was practically at. But again, now that people are waking up, today we're going to be jumping in on things. So let's start with Naviva. Let's see what they did. What is it that got them to kind of have that jump overnight? Shouldve Sciences and Naviva Therapeutics announced positive top-line results from phase 3 trial of lefamulin. So I need to see what lefamulin is about. So phase 3 trials are great. Phase 3 trial basically means that you're actually doing it with a lot of individuals. So the way to remember is you raise the number to the power of 10. So like phase 2 means 10 squared. So you're doing it with around 10 to 100 people. But if it's phase 3, you're doing it with 10 cubed, so that's about 1,000 people. That usually means that this medication is now being tested on entire hospital patients, right? So you're signing patients at hospitals up for clinical trials, and this is for community-acquired pneumonia, CAP, community-acquired bacterial pneumonia more specifically. Now, at this point, I will stop and think, community-acquired pneumonia is a big problem, yes, but it's a problem that's already been resolved, right? This isn't something mind-blowing, because we already have solutions for community-acquired pneumonia. In the Western world, people don't really die of community-acquired pneumonia. In the East, in more poor countries, it is definitely seen. And bacterial pneumonia is a very common form of community-acquired pneumonia. So lefamulin was shown to be non-inferior to moxifloxacin. So that's the fancy way of saying that it's practically just as good as moxifloxacin. What happens in the clinical trial world is that if you make a new medication and it's not better than what's already out there, if it's not better than the number one thing out there, then there's no point in letting your medication be published, right? There's no point in that, because There's already other things that are out there that have been working great for this whole time. We already know them very well in terms of side effects and stuff like that, and then they're not really doing anything considerably problematic, so everything's okay. All right, so lefamulin was generally safe and well tolerated. Greater Chinese rights to lefamulin will be held by Sumitomo Pharmaceuticals. Yeah, not the most impressive medication, right? This in comparison to like last week we saw what was that, ANVS with their research in that's another Chinese pharma company with their research in Alzheimer's. Now that is something notorious. Alzheimer's is not really manageable that well right now, right? It's mostly just symptomatic treatment. You try to do the best you can for the patient's lifestyle to be as best as possible. So we're not really too crazy on this right now. It's possible that people might want to jump on this just for the boredom aspect. I actually wanted to show you guys something. Chart showing trade volume over the decade. Yeah, I think this is it. Yeah, so basically what I'm trying to find right here is the fact that trade volumes have been pretty bad lately. People just don't really aren't really trading for whatever reason. So this is something that people were talking about all over Twitter, where the amount of people that are actually trading has been going down, right? So going down, not many people actually buying and stuff. And I'm sure, of course, multiple different factors play a role. I mean, the pandemic definitely took a lot of people out of business. People lost money. People don't have money to practically risk on an investment. So, you know, at this point, what you're seeing is when something looks plausible, looks like it might be a positive, then the few people that are trading like to grab that and make it a big positive as much as possible, right? So that's kind of what I'm hoping for Nabriva Therapeutics. Like, it'd be wonderful if, just like PIRS did yesterday, if we could ride 208 Nabriva up to like close to $5, that's a 100% gain right there. Same thing with Lucon Technology. I'm not sure what they've done. So we get Nabriva. We see that they're basically trying to come up with some solution for something that already has a solution. So it's not really the most impressive thing. Lucon Technology was, as we saw already, had that one jump one day to $3. So let's see what they're doing now. Continue to trade in the US on the NASDAQ stock market. Announces annual report. Alright, so there's no new news on them. Nothing crazy for today. And then BOSC, Better Online Solutions. Let's see what they've got going on. Better Online Solutions. Right. They have to release financial results, first quarter, estimating the intrinsic value. So oftentimes what happens is when it's time to announce your profits, announce your earnings for the quarter, a lot of stocks tend to go up big time just because earnings were positive. So let's take a little look around. I just want to see what else might be worth looking at today. Let's see. So PIRS is looking like it doesn't look like it's going to have a play today. AHT might, OBLN might. There's one more stock, KOSS. Let's see what's happening there. Man, looks like Litecoin is just sinking today. Unfortunately, that's the only crypto I didn't sell. In yesterday's live, I got rid of any ETC I was holding, but Litecoin was a bigger minus than I could actually sell, so I didn't. Okay, so cost is not really my type of thing because it's a little too expensive. I prefer not investing in something that big unless it's 100% going to for sure jump. Express, okay. Express looks like it was going up all day yesterday too. got up. And this looks like another PIRS kind of thing that it did yesterday. That would have been nice to grab. Today it's at 426. So literally right now, like NBRV is the most hopeful thing so far. Not entirely sure where I want to jump in right now. Even looking at ANVS, actually, ANVS, one of our previous gainers. So look at the AHT is jumping up. This would have been. We're just gonna watch again, like as we've said before. All of these tend to jump up in the morning, and then come back down. So I'm gonna wait on that right now. Nice to have you here, Joe. Thank you for joining. I mean, it's a thing, right? Like people will talk about it, people will say, "Oh, buy this, buy that," but no one's actually doing it. So I'm just here, literally day trading, as I would actually be doing it, even if I wasn't live. And then people that join get to see, and of course, for entertainment purposes, enjoy. And if you decide to buy whatever you want to buy, then you do that on your own decision-making skills. And good luck to everyone. What was I gonna do? Oh, ANVS, right? ANVS we wrote up earlier last week. Last week we wrote it up quite a bit. It was fun. That was a huge gain, right? So we got in at multiple instances where we bought a total of just 700 shares, averaging at around maybe $50, right? So 43, 100 shares at 43, 600 shares at 63. So that's actually averaging around $60. But then we rolled it up to 90 and sold. So that was a very nice gain right there. And now it's back to 50. And today it's I don't know why it's going up again. Let's see. This is the pharma company that was making Alzheimer's medication progress. I think so, right? Yeah, Alzheimer's drug. So today, pricing of their public offering, that was May 23rd. I don't see any new news today. What are people saying? APVO order filled. Report popped. APVO. Okay, so you see how from one place to another place you hear about more stocks and you keep going. So let's see what APVO is. This fall, literally this morning, is the bullshit of crypto these days. That's unfortunate. I'm not too worried about it because that is what crypto is. I just wish I never actually bought any of these. This was a more recent purchase I did, hoping that I was catching a dip, but turns out the dip is still dipping. Alright, let's see what APVO is doing. APVO. Okay, so they've been pretty much the $25, $26 range this whole time, and now today they're going up. So why? Why are they going up? Let's see what's the APVO up to. Octavo Therapeutics, another pharma. Wow, that would have been a day. 633 all the way to 26, possibly even 40, 50. That's insane. So they must have done something massive not too long ago. What is this? Their first complete remission in ongoing phase 1 clinical trials. Complete remission. What did they fix? Clinical biotech company focused on oncology. See, now that compared to the earlier stock we were looking at where NBRV has just created something to fight pneumonia, that's not the biggest deal. But something with complete remission in cancer, that's big money right there, right? So that's why back on November 2020, they had the massive jump. So what are they jumping for today? What's happening now? Octavo Therapeutics, May 26th, right? This is today. Let's see what happened. Always good to see today. So Octavo Therapeutics reports positive phase 1 clinical data for its lead leukemia drug candidate, APVO 436. Usually when the medication hasn't completely been published, it has weird names like this. In adults with relapsed acute myeloid leukemia, AML. So AML in medicine, I teach this as aged men leukemia. So aged men leukemia because this is usually leukemia, which is a blood cancer, will occur in kids, younger adolescents, under the teenage years, like 10, 15, up to that age. But acute myeloid leukemia is actually saying that occurs in adults. So they're saying that they're finding really good progress in their results, which again this looks like as the person was saying in FinViz, looks like the next thing that's a potential runner. So you can see over here, people are talking about it and what they're saying about it. All right, so it looks like this may have a big jump. I'm gonna keep my eye on this. If this breaks 30 like it did right at the break of this morning, if it comes back to 30, it looks like it might actually keep going to a lot more, simply because it's such a promising pharma. If it wasn't so expensive already, I would have picked up a shit ton of it right now, but not really looking to get into it at $28. I'd like to see what else is happening. Let me see what else is happening. Some mornings are just not about crazy things. As an MD, it's always fun to write up some of these therapeutic pharma related stocks. And NBRV, as you can see, is, as I said earlier, people like to ride these things up and just hype it up just because it's so boring lately. So this is looking like it might be worth jumping on that bandwagon right here. I think I will go ahead and take this if it comes back to anything lower, because when it's shaky like this, soon enough we're gonna see the SEC jumping in to fuck around and lock shit up, because that's what they're good at. PIRS, AMC, yeah, AMC is just gonna be coming back down again. Yeah, it looks like both ANVS and this one APVO are having fun today, but this is looking very basic right now. I'm not sure why it's not popping off. What do I want to put that money in? Alright, so I'm going to take OBLN off. I don't think this is going to be something crazy today. Let's look at another one. What's happening with these people? Wow, I already jumped from 17 to 20. Why? What is this? Hardware? TKAT. What do we want to buy today? We want to get in on the blue, but it's going to pop. Oh, they've had surges other days too. What is happening with this company? Oh, wait, wrong one. I think it's related to non-fungible tokens. NFTs are, of course, all the craze. Wow, it was a $3 stock and it jumped to 53. Damn, 3,000%. What the heck? NFT. Oh wait, I'm not sure what I'm typing. I can just respond to Joe. So Joe's asking if I just straight up buy and sell stocks. Do I do spreads or trade options, or buying calls and selling calls? Right now, all I'm actually doing is just the day trading aspect. So yeah, I'm mainly just like picking out stocks that are looking like they're gonna skyrocket today, bringing that up to everyone that might be watching, so that you can then also watch, and then eventually, at some point, usually by like 10 a.m. Right now it's 9:47 here in New York. I'll buy something after seeing the trend for that first half an hour, and then throughout the day I'll have multiple instances. So like yesterday's video, yesterday we got into PIRS, and I mentioned to everyone PIRS as well as AMC, and then that was all that video was about. And throughout that day, of course, PIRS and AMC were my big plays. Today it looks like Nebriva, APVO, so I'm gonna move that over, and possibly TKAT, which is an NFT guy, maybe my big plays. But yeah, that's all I'm doing right now. Later on, as this channel develops more and more, I'll be having a community page, a community tab for the YouTube channel, which doesn't exist right now because there aren't enough subscribers. And I'll advertise it a lot more on like various forums and stuff, and then I'll associate it with like an Instagram page and other social media where I'll also talk about teaching how to do calls, showing what calls work. I'll live buy calls and sell calls, and you'll be able to see exactly the buttons I click, for example, so that there's no confusion. There's no confusion, and I feel like from what I looked around, not many people are actually doing this per se, which I'm not sure why. I don't know why, but you know, I feel like I'm doing this for myself in the morning, so I might as well just live stream it. And I also live stream on another USMLE channel. USMLE is the United States Medical Licensing Exam. That's my bigger channel where I basically teach medicine. So I'm an MD here in New York, and that's the other thing I'll be doing when I'm done with this for this morning. So after I'm done here, I'm at 11 a.m. I teach medicine to a bunch of students on an online course. After which, the rest of my day just goes to working. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm working on right now, Joe. And as this channel gets bigger, I'm gonna go ahead and do calls as well. I accidentally bought and sold one stock on the same day, and I got an alert saying if I do that a few more times, my account will be locked or restricted. Yes, so day trading, if you're using Robinhood, for example, they'll tell you that, and most other apps will also tell you that you can only really do infinite day trades if you have $25,000 or more in your account. So that's going to be something critical to watch out for. If you don't have $25,000 or more, then I spoke about this way in the beginning of today's session, that if you don't have $25,000 or more, then you should try holding the stock for the whole day and sell the next day. For example, had you joined me yesterday and bought in on PIRS, then you could have picked it up at anywhere under $3 and then just held it for the whole day. And today you could have sold it at over $4. So that'd be, you know, depending on how many shares you bought, that would be a great, massive 25% return. I like to talk about percentages rather than amount wise, because how much the amount is going to be really depends on how much you put into it. But you can see PIRS has had an amazing jump yesterday. It did go up about 100% throughout just yesterday and today. So, you know, sometimes you'll be able to do that. The other thing, AMC also, AMC you could have bought in yesterday and sold the next day. As long as you sell the next day, it's not a day trade, essentially. You know, so even yesterday we got in on AMC multiple times, and then I had to sell because I was going to get busy. So I sold around here, around 1540 something. Yeah, 1543. But then after I sold, it jumped all the way to 18, and I could have sold it this morning, right? So that's something that you can do until you build your profile up to have 25K or more, or of course add funds. You know, you don't have to use all the funds, self-control, but you can definitely add funds and leave the funds into your Robinhood account, and then buy responsibly. So that's something you can do, because day trading has massive gains, massive pluses, but it can also have massive losses, of course. Anything that has massive gains can also have massive losses, so you got to be very careful. Let me see. I think it's about time to now around, you know, as we approach 10 is usually when I like to go ahead and finally put my money into something. And I'm looking at last few things just to see what's happening. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and put my money into NBRV. It looks like the cheapest thing I can actually go ahead and grab, and I want to. It's done its thing already. OCGN, I already messed up and had a couple of this, no? Oh no, okay, I bought and sold it before at a loss actually at times because I didn't know it was gonna do anything. Here it is today, looking like another promising stock that might be going up. So OncoGen, as you can see here, is also a pharma stock. Therapies for curing eye diseases, hence the Onco in its name. But let's see what they've done today. Yeah, and that's okay, Joe. Not everyone does. That's perfectly fine. You know, you take the gains you make and you grow it. That's all. It's all good, man. It's all good. We all start somewhere. This wasn't me always, right? So, I've been doing this for over a year now, and just like everyone else that jumped on this as the pandemic started, I did too. So it's all good. OncoGen was recently becoming more popular because they also made this Covaxin, right? So usually they're all about eye diseases, but of course every biopharmaceutical company wants to be the one that makes the perfect medication for COVID. So they made Covaxin, which is actually something that was being sent over to India as well with their current COVID tsunami. So Covaxin has made them pretty popular lately, and they're having a pretty nice moment today. They've been going down all this time, but today they're jumping up, and it looks like it has its instances. Like right here, you can see it jumps up. This was a jump it did overnight, and then the next morning it just sank. But right now it looks like it's going up in front of us. 740. So for me, every single cent matters since I'm investing in thousands. Every single cent matters. So since I've already kind of missed this part, another big lesson is to learn that if you missed it, you missed it. So you missed it, then you let it go. I don't want to miss Nebriva, but you know, I want to catch it at a good price, maybe play around. The other big thing is having a stop loss, so making sure to know, like, if it, you know, if for whatever reason if this starts sinking all of a sudden, I have to be ready to sell it as soon as it's sinking, because I don't want to, you know, you want to cut your losses basically. So let's buy something now. Let's see. Don't think this is going to do anything. NCAT, as we can see, is, you know, another one that we basically already missed. Would have been better to get in on this first dip. I always like to get in on that first dip. I don't even know where this is actually going to go up to. It's gone up quite a bit already. I doubt it'll go to 40 again, but man, do I want to get in on this? How many can I get? Let me see. If I was to put in like 5,000, I could get 200 stocks. What if I put 10,000? Okay, so maybe I'm gonna go ahead and before this goes crazy, in case it goes crazy, it's coming back down a little. I'm gonna try to grab 500 stocks of it, but I'm gonna wait for a better price because I'm not sure what's happening right now. Usually, you know, after things go up so much, they come back down a little bit, and see they 21, 27. Yeah, this is a takeoff right here, so I can't get in anymore, and I will accept that. That's okay. NBRV, this I can grab a shit ton of, but really depends on whether or not I want to do it based off of how successful this is even going to be, because it's just pneumonia. No one really cares. Damn it. What are we buying today? This would have been the best thing to grab, but I don't see anything about them that is actually showing why they would go up too much today. And of course, just as I'm saying that, it goes up another cent. Let me look at this again. LKCO. Did they do anything new at all, or is it just time for their annual report? Yeah, AMC still going up from the $18 it started at, but I'm not jumping in that today. HT took off as well. Right, so it had that first dip and then it flew again. So like this is where you want to buy it, that first dip. Now it's about to approach $4. Ocugen. Damn, what are we gonna get into? NCAT. If this comes below 21, I'd love to jump in again. If it comes down below 21 again, I'd love to jump in, where it kind of looks like it's getting there. It's always nice to see what people are talking about here. Buying. Oh, here we go. It came below, so I'm gonna go ahead and jump in on this with my 500 shares. Let's see what happens with this guy. So I am in. Let's refresh. I am in at what price did I get in at? 20.97. All right, great. So now if this goes to whatever the heck is gonna go up to today, I'll take my few gains. So TKAT, let me move this to the front since I'm in on it. NBRV, not sure. People are looking very happy about KCO. Volume always matters. Let me see what the volume is, because the online ad doesn't really show. Volume basically means how many people are buying and selling, right? How many people are trading it. LKCO. So Litecoin Technology has 1 million volume already for today. There's a chance to ride this up to quite a nice price, and the more copies you buy of any stock, the more money you can make off of it. So for example, you can see I can buy 15,000 copies of this stock, which each penny it would go up would be 15,000 pennies, and that's a lot of pennies. I'm just not seeing. It's scary to wait too, because after it's done this thing, like it can come back down to 134 at any second, but it can also just start jumping towards $2 at any second. And the volume on this is still increasing, so LKCO may be a moneymaker today, it may not. This is already pretty nice. This is good. I'm happy with it. Yeah, of course it's having that. Yeah, just keep going, man. Go to 30. Go to 30. NBRV doesn't look like it'll pop off today. APVO, for whatever reason, this is gonna be a stock I'll be watching. I'm gonna keep this on my usual list, because this is a pharma stock that has been making great progress on their leukemia medication. So I gotta check up on them, see how that clinical trial is going. Better Online Solution finally decided to go up a little. Litecoin Technology went up another cent. I'm gonna wait on that next time it comes down and try to grab that. HT, this has been doing this all week. It's been, see, every day it's been going up quite a bit. This was a really nice day where it jumped up about a lot. And then there's OcuGen. So TKAT has gone below what I got in on. Okay, jump up, man. Let's jump up. Would have been nice to jump in on this at $18, but I took it anyway at $20.97. I'm not really sure how far this is even gonna go, to be honest. Looking at the charts and shit. TKAT. Yeah, we'll watch on that. What is this other one now? KTRA. KTRA Therapeutics. Oh, that's a very nice price also. That would be another one I would love to grab. Another penny stock. Penny stocks are fun. What's up with them? What are they doing? Positive site activation update on GSAR phase 2-3 for glioblastoma, which is a type of brain tumor. So that's wonderful. That is good news. Right, so they're having great progress on that. So let me jump in on this guy. If I was to jump in big, I would want to wait on a dip somewhere. I'm not looking like it's trying to dip though. I'd want to get in one, like, wow. 9:45 a.m. I could have bought it at 165. Yeah, it's just going up. Alright, right here. Let me see. No, come down. Whatever, I'm just gonna get in on it right now. Let's just see what happens. Let me see what price this filed in at. This is gonna be the big boy for today, KTRA. Placed. Fill. Come on, fill my order. There we go. So we got in at 215. You see, like, great. Already up $1,000. This is looking like it's gonna be today's trade, because I love jumping in on. Yeah, Nabriva's dropping, right? Yeah, Nabriva, man, it's, as I said, so having that MD knowledge that I bring to the table, I love looking at pharma stocks. And I looked at Nabriva and we all saw that it was just pneumonia. Who the fuck cares about pneumonia? But glioblastoma over here, this boy, big deal. An APVO with the leukemia, also a big deal, possibly for another future date as they make more progress on their medication. They've already got great news. If they get a, one of the best news you can ever get as a pharma stock is FDA approval. If you made something that got FDA approval, you can imagine that day your stock will go up 300% easy, especially depending on what it is that your stock dabbles on, and pneumonia is not that thing. So Kintara is looking like the nice grab of today, as we can see here. And I can sell at any instant I want to, but I'm going to try to ride this up. I'm hoping that this goes over, it's always nice to hope, so hoping it'll go over $3 as more people find the hype here. Litecoin Technology, which is the other penny stock for today, is still going up. Right? So had I grabbed it at 135, that would have been 3 cents. That would have been nice to go up on. TKAT is going down. One of the things you learn as you buy is that the more expensive a stock you buy, the fewer shares you'll buy, right? and with the fewer shares you buy, your losses are not that crazy. So even though it went down almost 50 cents from where I bought it at, my loss is only about $200. But with the penny stocks, you know, every single penny ends up mattering a shit ton. Like you see how I'm down 4 cents, I'm already down 1,000. But I have faith in this one. KTRA Therapeutics, I have faith is gonna go over 250 hopefully today, and then we'll take that gain and sell right away. Because it hasn't done much yet. You know, over yesterday it jumped from 146 to 2, and then today people should be seeing what it did achieve, right, for the brain tumor, and people should be jumping in big time on this. So I'm not too worried here. That's a good penny stock for the day. It, of course, would have been much better to jump in at this price range, but that's what's going to happen now. So other people are going to see it now at this price range. They're all going to jump in. The morning is still young, and by noon, hopefully, this will break 250, at which point it would be a wonderful sell to take the profits on. Lukong is doing that slow steady. Literally every time I come back to it, it's up another penny, but not the biggest craze. Craze wise, TKAT is a craze because of NFTs. It only went up to 21, so I actually ended up getting in on this at more of a peak than a bottom part. It would have been nice, as I said, to get in on 18, but it is what it is. We're gonna keep this going, keep an eye on it. This looks like it has support at $2, so if more people get in on $2, this is going to be a big plus. Better price range to get in on than I got in on it right now. Let's see. Otherwise, I still have 8K to spend anywhere else if I want to, but I'm not seeing anything else worth catching at the moment. Yeah, Neriva has had its going down moment, but I don't know if it's going to have a moment of actually coming up anytime today. Lukong is, as I said, every time we come back, another penny up. So Lukong also has pretty good volume. I'm not sure how high it'll go today, but you know, what KTRA. So you see how, like, it's nice to see what people are saying, right? So here, this guy is very bullish, hoping it goes to $3. If this goes to $3, right, then that's going to be a lot of return on my investment right here. KTRA. So people are very much hoping KTRA does something big. Yeah, see, they're talking about how it's got great progress on glioblastoma. Their research, their clinical trial has been activated in 15 US sites apparently, according to this article. So activation is a huge deal. That means that your actual what do you call it, clinical trial is now actively being pursued in 15 different sites, right? So that's bound to eventually lead to amazing return on what do you call it, research data, and then with that data you go ahead and further try to publish stuff to get an FDA approval. So you know, Joe got in at 204. Again, depending on how much you put into it, just stay strong, keep watching, and I would maintain a stop loss. If this starts to go like too low, you know, then you don't want to panic sell, but you want to keep an eye on it. It's a very bullish stock for today. A lot of people are apparently looking into it. Would have been even better actually if I got in on any of these price ranges. That's looking like a scary loss for me personally right now, but I'm pretty sure it's going to come back down, so I'm not too worried about it right now. Lukong is the other thing I am looking at. TKAT is looking like, yeah, I'm not sure what they're doing here. I got in at a pretty big price though, but I'm hoping that it's going to do this kind of thing where it'll come back up again. Next jump, right? MBRV, not much happening. APVO, not much happening today. We're going to have to wait on them. BOSC had its jump and it's not really doing anything after that. AHT neither. So that's basically it for today. Let's see what happens. This may end up being, so of course not every day will be an amazing plus 2 to 3 or 10K gain. This might be today's video where it's actually a loss, and that's okay. That's something that comes with day trading. But I am pretty sure this is going to come up, so I'm going to keep my hold on this. My cutoff point will be minus 8K. So if it goes up to minus 8K losses, then I'll just dip out of it. Maybe keep my eye on it, buy back in again at a cheaper price and ride it up, recover the 8K, you know, stuff like that. So for example, if this unfortunately goes down to like 150, but then it starts going back up, I'll go all in on that 150 price range and recover whatever I lost and more as it comes back up, right? So that's kind of what you want to do. There's always that concept of dip then rip, right? So something can always go down and then just boom, take off after that first moment going down, because as you can imagine, a lot of people are going to jump in at that price range right there. So that's something to keep in mind. Other than that, not much else happening today. Hopefully tomorrow is a much more exciting day of investing. So I'll see you guys tomorrow morning with, as usual, the next morning I review everything that did happen today, what the gains and losses were, and then we start another new day. So every day is a fresh day. So thanks a lot for joining, Joe. Great to have you on. You're one of my first streamers that are actually watchers that are actually joining one of my streams. So that's wonderful to see as the channel progresses. And then let's make that money. So I'll see you all tomorrow.